All right, this is recording 694. Again, you can find me at ChristinaStation918.com. Okay, so these are the crimes to report that I saw this week. Okay, so another thing is, before I start with the crimes, in my last recording, I was talking about the book of Paul. Okay. All right, so Nimrod built cities. So I know instantly go check cities in the book of Paul. So if you go to the book of Paul, so much is going to stand out to you. If you've been following along with all of my podcasts and you've been following along with all my decoded ciphers, there's so much that's going to stand out to you on cities. Okay, so I know that there is a lot there. So I just wanted to point that out also. So, okay, so United States deadly horse virus threatens North Texas herds after outbreak south of Fort Worth. Okay, Gene Jernigan Roberts committed this crime. There's a lot of syrup in all of these crimes. Okay, Gene's direct hand on it. And I think what she was trying to do was trying to schmooze people over, trying to lie to them and hustle them, and trying to show off, and then planning more shrapnel at me, trying to run her rackets, like, lie about me and then attack me and trick people into attacking me. Someone came on in my brain in the middle of the night the other night, and they go, "You don't love America, or you're anti-American," or they said something to me like that. And I was like, are you stupid? Like, I don't even respond. I'm just like, I can't even. So anyway, okay, so Fort Worth is where I bought Holly and Daisy at. Okay, I bought them from a breeder. Ben and I bought them from a breeder in Fort Worth. Okay, so I know instantly with the Fort Worth, and she's probably using Werther's candies and everything else in here. You probably could do, and then she's using the ton here, TUN, and then the horses that she poisoned, where I decoded her poisoning those horses, that they were Arabian horses. And it was when I lived in Slidell, and I still can't find the news article. And I went back because I wanted to go back to go find it to see what else it connects to go see the crime again, and to see what more is there. And I went to go try to find the article that I had decoded where she had poisoned. It was like 40 horses had come down with poisoning, and they were poisoned. And I got it connected to, by decoding it, I got it connected to those flowers that she uses in Nostradamus. And there's a whole bunch of decode that goes around those flowers. Hibiscus flowers. Okay, so see all code around hibiscus. So anyway, so horse, Holly, you probably could cross reduce that. But I knew instantly when I saw that. Oh, there, she did it right there in North 40. So Gene Roberts committed that crime. Australia sanctions Russians linked to cyber attacks. Australia has slapped sanctions on 2 Russian cyber crime service providers linked to cyber attacks targeting Australians. Media Land LLC and ML Cloud LLC are Russian sister companies offering so-called bulletproof hosting services, no questions asked web hosting services for criminals. So Gene is doing a little back end speak. You know how she talks. She controls people's speech, or she talks herself directly, and then she says all kinds of underhanded lies and crap underneath it. So she's making innuendos about me, and then she's going and she's acting like a child. Like she's acting like she's 20 years old. And see Russian sister. And then see all Code 3 sisters. There's a whole bunch that goes to that. And she's coming at me like, I met Vladimir Putin. See all ciphers, see all my audio. It's on my podcast, in my brain. I know them pretty well. They're always on. And she wants to act like she's got this layover effect. So any connection I have a mental telepathy, her and her ring of terrorist criminals that commit all these ciphers, that write these ciphers with Jean and commit this terrorism, they do overlays over the AI and they pretend like Jean, she loves to just love on Vladimir Putin. And what I mean by that is she acts like she's his best buddy. Well, if she's acting like she's his best buddy and he's telling you, Christina, no, then I imagine he's keeping his enemies close. So anyway, you can tell that she committed this crime. So what to point out here, our favorite number 2, okay, she syrups the heck out of that. Okay, so Media Land LLC and ML Cloud. So you're going to take ML, and then notice there's 2 MLs. There's ML, and then there's ML, right? So you're going to take 13 and 7, and 13 and 7, that makes 40. So she committed this crime. Syria overnight SDF Raqqa attacks leave 2 Syrian army soldiers dead. Raqqa, you can tell she is using, this goes to what I told you she put in my brain a couple days ago. And she committed this attack. And look, there's the SD and then the FDS. And then she's using Racket. So she committed this crime also. I can tell that she committed this crime. Jean Roberts also committed this crime. Netherlands. Dutch military opens fire at drones over Volkel Air Force Base. Volkel, silent war, Dutch. And the way she's caring about this is she's acting like she's in super cahoots with the Netherlands. And she's just like cozy, just right up with them, and they're just like her main people. And that's the persona she puts at this, and she puts it at me, and she knows I'm gonna go, you're insane, you're sick. So she's obsessed with Dutch, and Dutch goes to Dutch spices, and Dutch, she always says about going half. We always go half on everything. Okay, so, and also Lost Dutchman mines. So, and then Dutch, Dolce, flan, custard. So Jean committed these crimes also. And then Volkel was the last name of my foster dad. Their names were Cheryl and Harvard Van Rokel. So she used that too. She used them too. See all code there. So, and then United States 5-shot in Chicago loop, prompting heavy emergency response. So you can tell that she committed this crime also. You can tell instantly by the number 5. And let me go through here. So this was at Chicago Theater, Chicago, Illinois. So she used my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, which I still consider her my sister-in-law. I love her. Natalie, Mario's brother's ex-wife. Well, they might be still married. I don't know. But anyway, she's making me talk personally in the recording. And I apologize, you guys. She controls my speech. So anyway, so I sent her, proving to her that Jean Jernigan Roberts has been out committing crime, using our family, and I sent her evidence of that. I've also sent Tootie evidence of that. So Jean, in turn, committed this crime, and it has to do, I was proving that she was Charles Manson, and then all about the 10,000 occults, all of that, see all of Decode, see all ciphers on that. It happened at 10:20 p.m. on Friday, the Chicago Theater. So you're going to want to see all ciphers and see all code on that. Jean Roberts committed this crime also. She's the one that committed the crime. Which means she's got some backup racket story that she's feeding, impersonating my family, and then she's acting like she's a spokesperson of my family. She's acting like she's some like it's insanity. Like, it's ridiculous and it's stupid. Like, she's some class action lawyer speaking for everybody around the planet and speaking on behalf of everybody in my family, when the bitch can't even earn a degree without icing her way through or forging her way through. She's got a forged degree in English. She's got a PhD in English. She's not a lawyer. She's not a spokesperson. She poses as a Mormon. She's not a Mormon. She is a Satanist. She's the leader of Charles Manson. So anyway, the United States, 4 people wounded in shooting at North Carolina Christmas tree lighting ceremony. So you can see she's using the NC, North Carolina, and then the Christmas tree, see all code around Christmas tree. And then 4 people were shot Friday evening at a Christmas tree lighting ceremony in North Carolina, according to officials. 3 people were in critical condition and 1 in stable condition following the shooting in Concord, which is about 19 miles north of Charlotte, according to a statement from the city.it. Okay, so right now what she just did in my brain is she like walked through my bed. I'm sitting on my bed making a recording right now, and she like walked through my bed like a presence, like an AI holographic presence. And then she like real arrogantly like punched me, she's pretending to be a male, and she's punching me. And then she's walking back real arrogantly. Okay. So she is being racist, and she is racist. Okay. She's Ku Klux Klan. She's making racist statements in here. And I know you guys can see that already. So she's making, so that's why she's punching me, because she lies about me. And then she pretends to be me and steals what I decode and goes and paints herself as, oh my God, she lies about who she is, Christina, to everyone. And she's got several people that she impersonates. But I've already got that recorded. I've already got her turned in for that. So anyway, 19 miles northeast of Charlotte, according to a statement from the city, it wasn't immediately clear what led up to the shooting. Concord police are reviewing video footage of the event and speaking with witnesses, according to the city. They've asked anyone with videos or photos to share them with police. Videos and photos posted online show crowds of people fleeing along with the street lined with emergency vehicles. It was unclear if police had identified a suspect or motive. Okay, the event was advertised in the city's 28th annual tree lighting ceremony. So tree lights, annual tree lighting. See how she uses the word late there? So she's making an AIW reference. And then see all code, the number 28. And then also all the super SERP she uses. She's taking advantage of the city's holidays here, and she's trafficking food, running her trafficking racket and she's taking people's lives. I mean, she committed this crime. So to feature Santa and Mrs. Claus, food trucks to film The Grinch, and fireworks. According to the city's website, we are praying for the safety of our brave law enforcement officers, first responders, and everyone on this scene. And see how she's controlling the way the article is written at the end. We are praying for the safety of our brave so she's acting like she's law enforcement, and she's acting like she's busting this crime. Like this is some made for TV thing. Okay. And she's mocking law enforcement, and she's mocking this city, this is North Carolina. This is Concord. In Concord. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm being controlled while I'm trying to make reports. Okay. So, and she's being smug. And this is featuring the film The Grinch. So she's being smug and she's using The Grinch. Okay. CL code The Grinch. Okay. So United States 3 shot, 1 fatally in Lawndale shooting, Chicago police say. So, United States 3 shot, 1 fatally in Lawndale shooting in Chicago. Okay, so this was on the 4500 block of West 5th Avenue in Chicago. So, you know by the 45, you know by the 5th Avenue, and then you know by the 344, and then you know by the West 5th Avenue. And it was the Lawndale neighborhood, and then you know by her using Dale and Lawn, she's using Excel. So she's using Excel and Dale. 2 of the boys that were my little crushes that I dated in high school, where she trafficked all of us. And she tried to blame it on everybody else. And now she's committing crime and she's trying to blame that on everybody else. Okay, so, and then this part of it where a 31-year-old man was shot in the chest and self-transported to Rush Hospital. Now, she, who's been stalking me all my life, she instantly wants to talk about the LA Lakers. She wants to talk about Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul sang a song called Rush. And Paula Abdul... I know Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul is wise to Gene Roberts. Gene Roberts tried to white people her. And you know what that means? She went off lying to Paula Abdul's people, trying to schmooze her over. And Paula Abdul got angry. And this was when I was at work at Reese's. And she got angry and she found out what was going on. She went off and then she went back on in my brain. And she let me know she knows what's going on. So anyway, this is her exploitation of Paula Abdul also. So Rush, she's also using Rush, the group, which only like one song by them, because it's very significant because it's about Tom Sawyer. But they pretty much just creep me out. So anyway, okay, so and I'm sorry, she's controlling, they can tell the person that's controlling your speech, Christina. I'm talking through your voice right now. They can tell the person that's controlling your speech is the same person that committed this crime because they're making your voice sound syrupy. They know that the people that are committing these crimes have your brain and body hijacked, Christina. And now they're pulling my face up and down, they make my face look like artificial smiles. Pakistan, 8 terrorists killed during Banu, Banu, IBO. Okay, so she is using here. Pakistan got angry over this. Stop, Gene. Pakistan got angry over this. They know that Gene Jernigan Roberts committed this crime. Gene and Actorite were on pulling a little stunt, doing Bicco Scripto, their little two-way dialogue stunts. And they were force controlling my head and my eyes while I was decoding this to move in certain signals in sync with the script that Gene wanted to say. So she was basically Okay, you have to see my recordings, everything Pakistan, see all podcast. So she wanted to do all kinds of Biko scripto, and then she's like, hold it, cut it, click, cut it. And she's like telling him what to cut. And I'm like literally trying to decode this article, and they're literally like screwing around in my brain so they can run off and go lie to Pakistan. And Pakistan literally could hear and see in my brain. I don't think they can see, but they can hear, they can see, and some people can see in your brain. They can see, they know what they're up to. They're not with them. They are the white. They're not. Well, okay, hang on. We know Christina Stacia. We know you're Christina Stacia. We know you live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We also know the terror cell, the big terror cell, is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because they know that's where you're at. They want everybody wants you. See, now she's controlling. They're controlling my speech again. Now I'm being controlled again. Okay, so back to me. Okay, they've cut everybody off now. You see how quick they laid over all my speech and they cut everyone off? And that's what I call runaway speech. I'm talking and they merge into my sentences and they pull my sentences and start talking through my mouth, through their artificial intelligence robot dolls or whatever they're freaking doing. And then they take my speech and then they just say whatever they want to say. I call it runaway speech. So anyway, okay, so this was in Pakhdunkhwa, which sounds a lot like Pawhuska, Oklahoma. So I bet that cross reduces. So, and it was November 21st. So C code November and then 21st. And then Fitna. Okay, Fitna. Alkhawarij. Okay, she's using the Black Eyed Peas and she's using Fergie because Fergie has this line. This is really stupid, okay? Really stupid, but Gene Serps the crap out of it. So when I worked for Fiserv, I learned that the condition of money is like its health state, like whether it's old and wrinkly and ripped and written on and needs to be replaced with new bills. Okay, that's called fitness. Okay, so Fergie has a line in her song that says she's working on her fitness, and Gene stuck it in my brain, and I just like dismiss Gene, and then I keep like what Fergie said because I'm like, oh, that's cute. She's talking about money using the word fitness. I know what that means now. So some cute little stupid thing. She used Fergie as a theme in committing this crime. She used the Black Eyed Peas. So there's probably a lot more here. So Nigeria gas explosion claims 3 lives in IBADAN. And also, I put on my playlist, Let's Get It Started, because by Black Eyed Peas, I just recently put that on. I just recently saw the video and I'm going, oh my God, this is what I feel like. I'm making reports against her for terrorism. And like, can we get this ended? Can somebody arrest Gene? Like, put me on TV. I will nail her on TV. So anyway, Nigeria gas explosion claims 3 lives. She's going to white people you doing that, and she's going to go create more ruckus, Christina. But I am speaking on behalf of Christina right now. Christina's fine. Christina has to keep mental and emotional strength. And her way of doing that and keeping mental emotional strength is number 1, family. Number 2, music. And number 3, humor. And the only thing that Christina finds funny is making fun of Gene. Everything else, okay, there's nothing else that there's nothing else that I find funny. You already know that. The only thing I find funny is making fun of Jean because nobody's arresting her. So it's my way of beating the shit out of her verbally until she's arrested. So music is my strength. And that's, if you look at the video, that's what Jean's been doing. She's been committing crime like that and been getting away with it. And she's running trafficking rings and she's been getting away with it. And nobody's arresting her. Nigeria gas explosion claims 3 lives in Ibadan. Jean committed this crime also. You can tell by her using the word racket with BCD, and she's using BAD as BCD. That means that the letters BCD decodes to racket. Okay, so Jean is using that, and also you can see it was an OYO. Okay, so it was a gas explosion. There's CL code OYO. And then this right here with registration number LSR268YC. Okay, it was a gas tanker with registration number LSR26. And so they purposely put the details on it because they know that Jean is controlling this. Jean, there's these trucks that drive, these semi-trucks that drive, and they have the initials YRC. And people used to say, use the initials on the truck to say, "You're right, Christina." But then I find out that was real. Okay, people used to say that. And then I find out that was Jean or she hijacked it and it became not people communicating. It was people communicating with you. She just hijacked it. Now in Tulsa, they don't hijack the trucks. It's just, no, people drive I don't know who's driving what car. I know that Jean drives cars, and I know that Jean causes car accidents. And if you're trying to pass the blame on everyone else for causing car wrecks or starting fires or crashing buildings, Jean Jernigan Roberts of Milton, Florida, you're screwed. So anyway, the trucks would go by with the YRC. So then Jean started taking it over. So now Jean is syruping that. And she's using LSR loser. And she's using the 7. And then she's saying that the 4 is missing. So now she's saying she's in cahoots with Iran. And then you can see what she's doing with LPG. So she committed this crime also. Pakistan, 4 killed as factory boiler explodes in FAISALABAD. Okay, so there was a shooting in the same week that happened in St. Louis, and I didn't write it down. I didn't decode it. I saw it on the list. I knew she did it, but I didn't write it down because I don't write down every single one. I don't decode every single crime that she commits. Okay, there's too many of them. This one connects to that crime. She was making a reference. She's connecting them by using Nellie, and she's using Kelsey Grammer from Frasier, and she's using Daphne. So she's probably using Gaddafi is what she's using. And using his name to commit terrorism is probably not a good idea. And she keeps saying that last week she tried to pull a stunt. Somebody was on that was talking to me, and they were Middle Eastern, and then she got and climbed on, and then she pretended to be me, and then she redirected the voice away, and then he was screaming something. And I could tell he was confused as to who was what and what's going on, because talking in my brain is ridiculous. Jean hijacks everything and tells lies to everyone that's on here, keeping everyone unless you go to my podcast, which you can go to you can go to Podbean, PODBEAN. You can download the app, DOWNLOADTHEAPP. And you can look up Speaking to the CIA, and you can find my podcast there. You can go to my website, Christina Station 918. You can go to Spotify, or you can go to YouTube, and you can look me up there, Christina Station. But anyway, she's conning people that go on in my brain, and he was aggravated and he was mad. So, because she was just being ridiculous and sick, and she was distracting me from doing my job. They're like a ring of like, Jean Roberts and her friends are just a ring of like, they're just sick people, okay? And they're just creating havoc and wreaking havoc, and people in my brain that are listening or watching in silently get really, really pissed. And they're just like showing off. And she like redirected it back, and then it was like he got mad at me, but he should not have been getting mad at me. He should have been getting mad at her, but he was getting confused who was who. Like, okay, I'm Christina. Her name is Jean. Okay, my name is Christina Stacia. Her name is Jean Roberts. Okay, this is the zigzag switcheroo she's done. She's taken her life and applied it to my name, and she's taken my life and applied it to her name, and then she switched our names around where it still is like flipped or zigzagged, and then she chops up within, and then she sells my life out even more. Okay, so people, if you say Christina, she's committing terrorism and she's pretending to be me. But then she turns around and pretends to be me again and acting like she steals everything from me. It depends on who she's talking to. So anyway, she used his name here is what she did. So, okay. So anyway, and I know he did not do this. And I know if he found out that she was committing terrorism in his name, I know he would go. I know he would be furious. So anyway, okay, so also she's using shish kebab, okay? So she's like doing like a little smack in the face at Vladimir Putin. Okay, and then also there was a fire in the United States, okay? Jean was on in my brain live while I was decoding. She admitted to starting the fire in my brain. And then she was claiming that she and Act Right can do what they want, is what she was doing. So that's the end of this recording.